Hey, 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 hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Time to get up, move your body. At least wiggle in your seat. Go wiggle. Get your coffee ready. It's time to get up. Yes. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God, Wednesday, August 17th, 2022.
Hump day.
Popped us up bright and early this morning for Good Woman's Wednesday.
Women.
I am delivered.
Yes.
Says, you know I love women and I love Wednesday. Life can't get any better. Right on, Pops. That's my Pops right there. Judy Prinzler gives us a good morning. What's happening?
Hey.
Wanda Lewis says good morning. Good morning to you as well. Brianna Full gives us a good morning with some sunshine. Brother Rums Review says, yeah, man. Yes.
Hey. Yeah, man.
Sharice Holman gives us a good morning. What's happening? What's happening? Good morning to you. Mark Manor says good morning. Happy pumpkin spice season.
Hey,
Hey,
you big on the pumpkin spice?
Do I?
Yeah, you big on the pumpkin spice?
Nah.
Exactly.
I'm big on the pumpkin spice. You know, I don't necessarily throw up every time I taste it, but you know,
okay.
To each his own.
For all those
eating loves that. I think the point is it's all about that fall is coming.
Yeah.
Which
hoodie season is what I like.
I'm down for that season. I'm down for the season.
Yeah. Hoodie season.
We got a good morning from Facebook. Users don't know who that is yet. Let's go over there to Friends of First Sky Omaha and see. Also, Rose Review says 136 subscribers on YouTube. That's what's
okay.
Up.
Slowly but surely growing, especially for us to not really do anything about that.
Well,
all organic.
Vaughn Chapman is over there on YouTube. What's happening? What's going on? Hey, if you're on Facebook, please share the show to your page and let everybody know that we're about to jump into this discussion. Also, if you're over there on YouTube, thank you. We're trying to build that YouTube out, so thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, and like and subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do over there.
All that good stuff. Hit the bell, I think is the terminology.
Smash that bell.
Smash it. So when we go live, you know what it is.
Okay, that's what's up with that. Fall season definitely. It's been a little cooler here in Omaha, Nebraska here for the last few days. So
let me look it up. What is the actual official day of fall though? Like, what does anybody know off the top of their head?
Hey, brother Manor, so you've been traveling though, man. So let us know how your travels have gone as well. Look like they're pretty good. I like the way you document stuff. Like taking us along with you on the ride. I like that.
September 22nd is the first official day of fall.
We still got another month.
Yeah, a little early on it. A little early.
Still summer.
Yeah.
Still summertime.
Summertime.
Good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends. Good morning to you, Stacey Jean. How are you this morning? Appreciate you chiming on in. Appreciate everybody that's getting up early with us this morning. Shout out to the 6:30 crew. Let me know on the radio channel how the mix was this morning. Appreciate you getting up very, very early, even before we're up. So, yeah, man.
Especially those of you listening on the West Coast, man. We got a couple listeners out there having gone out there and experienced it firsthand, having to get up and do the thing. A whole new renewed respect for all y'alls. So we appreciate you. We love you. A little extra.
Yeah, that's a little early.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Vaughn Chapman gives us a good morning on Facebook this time. Good morning to you as well. Appreciate you coming on in on both channels. That's what's up. Special guest today, we're definitely having Precious McKesson in. She hit me last night, said, we on?
Baby?
This is baby. I'm coming on. We got stuff to talk about.
Politicking with P.
Politicking with P. Once again, no Michelle Trosclair. It's going to have to be a situation where we record Michelle Trosclair and bring her on because she just got too many responsibilities in the morning now. Unfortunately, but we're looking at expanding that whole soapbox moment anyway. So, that's still in the works.
Got to make it a thing. I feel like it's kind of nice that the viewers and the chat chimers, the ghost listeners, the whole squad has kind of gravitated towards some of the things that we're doing. It really is appreciated. Asking us to bring back the Trekkie words of wisdom and things like that. So yeah, man, it's all kinds of ideas out there. So we appreciate y'all.
For sure. As a matter of fact, I reached out to Star Trek Rich and the crew over at Weatherized
Squad.
And, put it out there. We need those Trekkie words of wisdom back. Let us know what we can do. So definitely check that out. I've been messing around on Twitter a lot lately. So definitely check out Twitter. I'm gonna start trying to post some of the headlines and stuff that we talk about on Twitter as well on First Guy Omaha, the Twitter page, and also my personal page too is kind of going off. So that's what's up. And also lots of love over there from the reader. I forgot how much Twitter is used by the news folks. So we got a lot of love over there from the reader and stuff like that. So definitely check out Twitter. If you're a Twitter person, let us know. We'll keep on broadcasting live to Twitter and posting stuff over there too. And I was fooling around with Twitch the other day again, just messing around. Put the radio station on for a few minutes. Black Dynamite hit me up like, "Hey, y'all fellas on here? What's going on?"
Okay, so there's some people still tapped in over there. Okay,
yeah, I like Twitch. I like Twitch a lot, actually. I was sitting over there kind of daydreaming, like, what if we just got off of all the other ones and just did Twitch with the crowd? Because it's the format is strong over there. So in the chats and stuff like that. I mean, it's a huge deal. So anyway, just messing around over there, and then ran into Carol Blood. Senator Carol Blood, put some respect on her name. She got a Twitch channel.
Oh, and, really?
She put this little video out that was like, why isn't Pillin trying to debate?
he ducking and dodging and dipping and ducking and dodging.
So we kind of want to put that out there. That's the question for the day too. How come nobody will debate Senator Carol Blood? Put some respect on her name. Nobody wants to smoke. Nobody wants to smoke.
They don't want the smoke. You can dodge a debate. You can dodge a ball.
We got to call for one or what? We got to call for a debate. Do we got to have a debate on the show? Like, what's going on here? We put out an invitation to debate on the channel. I don't know. Something got to happen. Pop says, love the Star Trek Rich and the Fam. Yeah, absolutely. Love the Weatherized crew for sure.
Yeah, if any of you have any podcast ideas, definitely holler at them. Hit them up. Weatherized. They'll get you straight, get you right.
Got to. Mark Manor said he's not bright. Well, yeah. I guess you got to know your strengths. If I was
talking about Ellen Pillin?
Talking about Ellen Pillin, man. Ellen Pillin. Got to know your strengths. Maybe he knows he's not that. Maybe he's like, oh, I couldn't hang with Carol Blood. I don't know. Let's avoid that. Let's just turn her down when she wants to debate. She's gonna have to debate. She's gonna have to get on. I know that would be a serious platform if she can get on somewhere and actually debate one of these gubernatorial candidates. So
yeah, she is. If I'm not mistaken, she's like the only Democrat running for governor. Is there another Democrat running for? I know there's an independent that we don't really know about running for governor. Is there another Democrat running for governor? Because I do know to that point, yeah. Now that I think about it, the Republican candidates have all debated each other. But nobody wants to smoke.
They had a big right. They had a big Channel 7 deal going on.
Yeah, it was a whole ordeal.
All of them lined up, patting each other's backs. But yeah, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke with Senator Carol Blood. Put some respect on her name. Lucia,
are those the types? Just real quick, are those the types of things that the chat chimers, ghost listeners, would y'all like to see us facilitate something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all want it, we'll work on delivering.
Mark Manor said he wouldn't debate Herbster either. If you don't think you can handle Herbster in the debate,
yeah.
You don't want the smoke.
Not at all.
Lucia Rodriguez said, "Morning, making it through the week." That's what's up. Making it through the week.
It is hump day, so you get over the hump. It's all downhill from there, as Big Wade said. Keep on pushing.
Keep on pushing. Mark Matter said, "You're not fit for office if you can't handle Herbster in a debate."
All right.
So we're putting it out there. Anybody got any inroads on anything, let us know. We'll figure it out. We'll partner with whoever and do whatever and try to get a debate happening. But let's answer the question first. How come Pillin doesn't want to debate? What's going on? You get called out to debate. Seem like you want to go battle. Maybe there's something in the playbook or strategy that we're missing here.
Yeah, maybe he ain't found any dirt just to throw mud to sling.
Oh, he's waiting on that.
Yeah.
Got a good morning from Vicky Young with some sunshine. How you doing this morning, Vicky Young? Good to see your name on here.
Top of the morning.
Yep. Yeah. Appreciate everybody that's jumped into the chat. We might as well go and throw some stuff out, the other stuff out there we're going to talk about today as well.
Yeah. There's a few things to discuss. Before that, though, just real quick, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Still feeling the same. I'm kind of, like I said, it really just feels like allergies and sinus problems, which I deal with all the time anyway. So I always say I feel back to normal. So we'll see. I'll take another home test here in a couple of days and see if the COVID is still on me. But we'll see what's happening.
Heard it described as a COVID fog, kind of on the tail end.
Really? See, that's why I don't know, man. I don't think that. What I really think happened is that I got like a stomach virus or something like that at the same time I got COVID. The COVID symptoms weren't strong. I didn't lose the sense of smell or taste. I didn't have the fog. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had stomach problems more than I had anything else. Like the whole time after the fever. So okay. I think I had a slight case of. I think the COVID hit me lightly because of probably being vaccinated and everything else, and something else. I had something else going on with the reason why I was down so long, just being sick. So I feel back to normal. We'll see what the COVID test says, and we'll leave it from there. How are you feeling, by the way?
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good. So
get some sleep?
Yeah, man. A little, not nearly enough, but we hear y'all. We here doing the thing. So, definitely big shout out to everybody who's been, sending support and love to my man Paul B as he deals and hunkers down in the COVID.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. But anyway, we do have other news to talk about. So definitely appreciate everybody tuned in, tapped in with us this morning here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Several discussions coming up, especially about this Saddle Creek situation. Big shout out to our partners over at The Reader, especially their intern putting in the work on this new article, something that I've been very adamant about as far as flood mitigation. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about this whole first hour, at least, of the show, is investment, following the money, which is the theme of this season. What is Omaha doing? So as far as what is their flood mitigation, or how are they investing in flood mitigation? We'll be talking about that, especially in light of all of this investment that they're making downtown in the Midtown area. Also, big shout out to everyone who pulled up on city council as they discussed their budget and charter changes, if you will, and many people spoke up, and of course the police budget conversation came up. So we'll definitely dive into what comments were made at the not necessarily a hearing, but the meeting. So and then also Omaha Public Schools announced that they're dropping a bag on the Omaha Police Department as resource officers. We kind of touched on this in I think earlier this week or late last week, as far as are the OPD the only option for resource officers for Omaha Public Schools? Is it the best option?
They need to be there in the first place.
We'll talk about it. And then, of course, there's many other things happening. Of course, Governor Pete Ricketts chiming up on some things. So we'll jump into that. As always, if there's anything on your hearts or your minds that you would like to discuss, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, in between time, let's get this thing rolling. Just about 15 minutes into the hour. Paul B, Buddy the God. Almost said Star Trek Rich, man. It's still gotta give him a shout out, man. Big shout out to Weberize, the squad, the crew over there at Weberize Studios. Check them out. But without further ado, let's get this thing going.
We're making it through the week. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. All of you, the chat chimers, thanks for joining us. 7:15 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Shout out to all the radio crew that's listening on the First Sky Omaha Listen Button radio channel. Appreciate that very much. Carolyn Jack gives us a good morning with a purple heart. That's the purple fan right there. By the way, she is organizing a group of us to go to check out American Sun. So check out her post over in Friends of First Sky Omaha and coordinate with her on which day you want to go. I got tickets for everyone that wants to go that's a friend of First Sky Omaha. So get with Carolyn Jack and let her know what's happening. She'll let me know how many tickets to get for us and what day we're all supposed to roll together. We're trying to come in deep. So yeah, definitely help her out with that. Blackity Black gives us a good morning with some sunshine. What's happening? What's happening? Good morning to you. Black Dynamite says, morning, y'all. What's up going on, Black Dynamite? I saw you on Twitch the other day when I was over there messing around. So I guess that's your platform. I like that. I'm liking Twitch myself. I really been thinking about trying to fire that back up again. So let us know if checking out Twitch is something you guys want to do as well. And yeah, we're always trying to just figure out what the platform, the best platform is in order to do what we're doing here, which is have this discussion. So we need all of you, and we want to be at where you're at. So just let us know if moving around might be a better thing. If we need to put more effort into YouTube, or if you guys just want to stay at Facebook, let us know, and we'll accommodate. In the meantime, if you are listening on Facebook, checking us out, then please do us a favor and share the show so we can get as many people talking as we can in these conversations. And let's go ahead and fire it up. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Well, we'll kick off with following the money, which is the theme for this season. And we're going to look at how is the city investing? How is the city using, our tax dollars, the money that we have allocated to them to make decisions. What decisions are they making? Well, of course, we've been looking at the downtown, midtown. What are they calling it? A TIF district was the term that they use that they're building. The whole TIF district, and then what $600 million. Yeah, TIF Alley, the $600 million in TIF projects that have already been greenlit, and the millions and millions of dollars of projects that are undoubtedly yet to come. I've been the only one that's been calling out what about flood mitigation? How are we going to protect this?
A picture is worth 1,000 words, man. That picture that they put on the reader with that car underneath the water. I did not know the water got up that high on that street. Like, I'd never seen that. That's crazy.
Man, for those of you who aren't aware or haven't caught the article, again, big shout out to our partners over at The Reader. Just released this article called Saddle Creek Floods Now, Fact of Life for Some Omahans. And Saddle Creek is just really kind of a key symptom or image of a larger issue. But for those of you who don't know about the problem, let's go back to August 2021, where you can see KETV meteorologist Bill Ramby standing, rolling up his sleeves, pointing to the intersection of 50th Street and Saddle Creek, warning people that it would be underwater. Undoubtedly, several hours later, Saddle Creek was underwater. Old Lever's Pub had their customers move their cars as they began to be swept away. And actually, one of the bartenders at Old Lever's, Ian Aiolo, found his house completely submerged and went into his basement. Guitars, music equipment, furniture, all underwater. And this is a common experience for those living in the Saddle Creek area, specifically south of Dodge. Has been a long time area identified as a flooding hazard. Newspaper articles from more than actually half a century ago described floods overcoming buses, and actually studies, Paul, your favorite word, from the past 20 years recommended expanding sewer systems and moving the road entirely. Actually, Bill Ramby, longtime area meteorologist, said that he's seen more flooding in the last 10 years than he's seen in his first 20 years on the job. Jim Thieler, who's assistant director of environmental services, says that in order to fix that road, it'll be about $250 million. And actually, according to documents obtained by The Reader, they say that price tag is closer to $300 million, which Thieler says is unjustifiable He says, we see very little actual reported damages to property from flooding on Saddle Creek. A vast majority of flooding is confined to the street. Very little escapes the public right-of-way and onto private property. However, there are some businesses who have seen much damage to their property in recent years. If you're familiar with Dingman's Collision Center in that area, they recently saw their shop doors actually bow in due to the amount of water coming from floods. And actually, some of the cars that they were working on were swept away just last year in a flood. Also, a big shout out to Drips Botanical Garden. Trey Johnson of Drips said that he almost lost his entire inventory. If you know about those precious plants, yeah, he yeah, those plants have a special place in his heart, man. So
in our hearts,
yeah. But it's like I said, Saddle Creek is actually at one point was a creek. The road that's going under Dodge Bridge, that underpass, it has been basically dredged out, has been flooding for close to 100 years, maybe over that. And again, I say that this is a symptom of a much larger issue, because it's not just Saddle Creek. You remember what now 2 years ago, Old Market flooded pretty good.
I mean, people were stuck in elevators and everything.
Exactly. People were almost getting stuck in elevators in some of these apartment buildings there in the Old Market. So it's not just Saddle Creek. And when you add into the fact, and again, I don't even think this article really dives too much into what's being seen downtown. Again, multi-million-dollar amphitheater just built, multi-million-dollar park, multi-million-dollar science building that's going to be put in the same area where Rick's Boathouse Cafe was flooded out.
Right.
So again, Saddle Creek, although it is kind of the most notorious flood hazard, it's a symptom of a much larger problem.
What say you? Put it to the chat. How do you feel about what's going on here? That 20-year study thing always makes me cringe. Like, how long are you gonna study something? I understand you got to have some long-term studies about some things, but like, get to some solutions. That would be a good idea. And I agree with you, man. It's that Jean Leahy Mall was at one point drudged out in order to bring water into the downtown area from the river. So I mean, that's what it was for. Now it's there's going to be no water there. So what's going to happen if things the river rises and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of questions, and of course we're talking about what are they doing? What have they spent any money on this? What's happening here is the question. Jumping in the chat real quick, Von Chapman says at the city council meeting, one dude suggested a poll tax for all renters. Okay, so man, city council meeting kind of went off.
We'll be diving into that next.
Carol Blood, governor, is in the house. How you doing?
She says, hey, hello, governor.
tax increment financing. We're talking about, because we're sitting here talking about Tiff Alley going on. Brianna Full says climate wasn't even mentioned one time in the budget. So all this money going out to the budget, and we'll be discussing everybody who is like opposed to the police department getting more funds and all these other places where that money's going. Climate was not one of them. Still kind of like a climate denying state, even though we get all these weird floods and things going on. Also, Black Dynamite said if Bill Ramby had them sleeves rolled up, y'all better listen. So
all right.
He was out there making it happen. Wanda Lewis says the water always finds its way back. Very true. I remember as a kid, 72nd used to be a flood point also.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I also just want to acknowledge too your other comment, Black Dynamite, talking about we don't give a lot of attention to violence, but what's been going on with the city. Some shootings last night again. Some murders and things have been going on. We don't really talk too much about it just because we don't want to sensationalize it, but we're not opposed to talking about it. You guys have some comments, think you want to talk about some things there, especially if it's affecting our community, the people that you know, and then even more importantly, what kind of solutions can we find? Not really about this violence for sure, and it's not every it's a multitude of reasons why these things are happening. We talk about poverty on a bigger scale, but on a smaller scale, on a personal scale, things are happening in our city, and if we need to talk about it, we will. So, we let the chat chimers lead us on that. But in the meantime, back to this idea here, like Wanda Lewis says, the water always finds its way back. So, it seems like they need to be doing something more than just studying for 20 years. What are you thinking about it?
No, definitely something needs to be done. I was actually looking at the history of it, and it almost seems like it just kind of was doomed from the beginning as far as Saddle Creek Road and them trying to, like, you think about all of the development just in that intersection, just in that Saddle Creek Dodge area. They just built a whole like 2 or 3 apartment buildings right there, like right there. They just built 2 or 3 apartment buildings. And then once you add in everything that's going to come on if they push this whole streetcar project, the intention of the streetcar project is to entice other investors to come to the area. So if that, is the track that we go on, there's going to be a whole wave of investors coming into that Midtown, area. They just expanded UNMC. So there's a lot of investment going on in that specific area. And if you just look at the history, it just seems like it was doomed from the beginning. Again, Saddle Creek apparently has its name because, one, it used to be a creek. It used to be a tributary. It was a small tributary dating back to the late 1800s. And apparently the legend says that it got his name from a saddle falling into the creek from some pioneer who was going west for gold. So that's to tell you how long this has been.
That sounds like a load of horse pucky in the first place. But
yeah, I don't know about the legend. But the point
fell into this flood.
Man, the point is, it's been doomed from the start, man. It's been doomed from the start. It probably wasn't the best city planning idea to have it there to begin with, and probably isn't the best city planning idea to keep it there.
Very true. Von Chapman in the chat says, if they aren't going to mention or consider climate change as an issue in the budget, flooding shouldn't be a surprise. Very true. You know what? I'm sitting here thinking about the flooding, just not to drag this particular subject out, but pulling back, I remember us talking about a time when the nuclear plant, which was some new news to me, that area got flooded, and there was a big scare because of the nuclear plant a few years back. And they had to shut a bunch of stuff down and move a bunch of stuff, and it took a couple of years to get the nuclear plant back online and all kinds of stuff, and it had to do with the flooding situation. And it was news to me that we were even using nuclear power. I don't even know if we went back to that all the way after that incident, but that incident stemmed from the flooding. Anybody in the chat remember that? Let me know about that. But this is so even in a bigger picture, and we're not just talking about cars floating away on Saddle Creek. We're talking about like stuff like where there was an emergency shutdown of a nuclear plant because of this flooding. So huge things going on here. I mean, everything is right here based on where the city spawns out from the river, and when that river the levels rise in the river, we're in trouble all the time. So
we are very much so a river city. So when you don't take into those things into consideration, it just kind of doesn't make sense.
Very, very true. 7:20. What is it? 7:28 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, it's kind of moving right along. Don't go anywhere. We definitely have special guest Precious McKesson coming in today. We'll be politicking with Pete pretty soon. Carol Blood, put some respect on her name if you're in the chat. We are putting the question out there that you've been asking. How come Pillin doesn't want to debate? What's going on with that? I know that you've been trying to get some debate stuff going and talk and getting in the ring with them, but it's not happening. So we're trying to put that question out. If anybody has any thoughts on that, let us know in the chat and let us know what we could do about it. Do we got to put something together? We don't know nothing about putting it together, but if we can put something together, we would.
We'll make it happen.
If he would answer our call. So we'll see. But maybe if Senator Carol Blood, put some respect on your name. If you're in the chat, let us know why you think it's not going down. Does he just not want the smoke? What's going on? I'm anxious. I'm anxious now to find out what the actual problem is. So just putting that out there as we move right along with our broadcast today. Kind of a floating question that we'll have all day long. What say you? Why do you think that it's not going down? We'll see what's happening. Black Dynamite says, wasn't that OPPD flood like in 2017 or 18? Yeah, that's what I was. Yep. So I was very nervous about that first. That was my first time learning that we even had a nuclear plant that we were drawing energy from, and then on top of that, there was a crisis that had to get shut down. That was kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, then remember just the river overflowing several years ago. Like I said, Rick's Boathouse Cafe being swept out, and that was a big venue for like, I don't know if you ever been to like I think didn't you play at one of the jazz fest there?
I used to play regularly at Rick's Boathouse with various groups. So at one point it was like there was no way you can even go down into that area,
man,
because it was flooded for like 2 years.
And that's the issue. Not only the fact that it flooded, but it stayed around for several years. So yeah, there's definitely in the fact that they are building a multi-million-dollar science building there and replacing that and haven't done anything to change it.
Well, we don't know that. Knowing that they're putting a multi-million-dollar structure there, they might have done some things to the infrastructure in order for that building to be okay. So we don't know what they've done. Maybe some of the multi-millions went to the infrastructure part. We'll see. But yeah, you're right though. There's a lot going on, and they're always going to build in those kinds of areas, man. That's waterfront. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and they should. I mean, it adds to the appeal of the city. I'm not saying I don't support it, but all I'm saying is you're going to drop these millions of dollars, and we should probably hear more about flood mitigation.
Very true.
I will add, as we prepare to switch gears, the library, the location that they moved the downtown library to is supposed to be in an area that's a heightened flood hazard as well. So that kind of what piqued my interest on this, and then I've just been seeing it pop up more and more places. So yeah, we'll definitely continue to keep our eyes on that. But I do want to switch gears a little bit and jump into the next article, unless you got something.
Yeah, but before we do, I just want to say what's on my mind. Von Chapman is speaking. The nuclear plant and the coal processing plant both pose problems for North Omaha.
Without a doubt.
Very, very true. Also, Josh Tate says Pillen has so much funding in a red state that a debate can only hurt his position. He's planning to coast into the governorship. I have hope for new blood, but it's a tall hill to climb for her. Okay, so that's I appreciate you putting that out there, Josh. That's something to really kind of think about. And you're right. I think that's probably why he's not answering the call for debate, because he feels like that it'll probably hurt his position, like Josh is saying. So it makes sense. Maybe that means that more people need to call for that debate. So the action here is everybody speak up and call for that debate. So that's what that is. In the meantime, between time, I'm going to go to a quick break. We got a special guest coming in, so we'll go ahead and do that. And so we'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the God. We'll get to your next gear shift transition in a minute. Stay tuned. Precious McKesson is up next. Don't you touch nothing.
That's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet.
They don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke. Carol Blood already telling them what's going on. Carol Blood for governor says, when you can buy your way into office and spew hate to scare people, why debate? Woo. They don't want the smoke. They don't want it. Marianne Williams says, it's hard to participate in a debate when you only speak in sound bites provided by Big Brother. Woo. Carol Blood is smarter, listens better, has experience bringing legislation, and can think on her feet in complete sentences. Tell the truth. Shots. Carol Blood says, we now live in a state where you can buy your she already put that out. Yeah. You can buy your way into office, never having to tell voters in a public forum what you stand for, but in the last 45 days, what you should vote against. Dark money, negative ads, and mean mailers has become the Nebraska way. Oh, we bringing Precious McKesson in on this. Ladies and gentlemen, we politicking with P. Precious McKesson in the house. Hey, how you doing this morning?
Good, y'all. Good.
Hey, top of the morning. See, you got your Creighton gear on. Represent.
Yes, today I got my Creighton mom shirt on.
Hey.
Today is my baby's first day of college, so I am very excited.
Exciting. It's the last first day.
The last one. Hopefully, she'll send me a picture. I haven't seen my kids since Saturday. You know, once she moved into the dorm, they've been doing welcome week, so she hasn't been home. So she's really literally yesterday. Yeah, literally, she's like, "Can you pick up a Target order?" I was like, "Oh, I get to see you." She's like, "Actually, no, I'm going to dinner, so you'll have to put it in my trunk of my car."
Ooh. Yeah, just drop it off.
I did. I pulled up to campus and just dropped it off. I said, "When am I going to see you?" She said, "Oh, I might see you tomorrow."
Oh, might. Emphasis on the might.
Cold blood. Now she gone. She gone now.
Yeah, you're an empty nester now. Just get used to it.
I know. I'm excited for her. But I hope I get a picture today so I can really, so I can at least say, "Hey, I got my first college picture." And I was like, and take it in front of the sign that says Creighton. She was like, "Look, lady, I'm in college now."
We're done with the corny stuff.
Yeah. You got her looking bad. But we're excited. Congrats to her. We're definitely excited for her.
And congrats to Marianne. She said her daughter starts Creighton today. Also, Marianne Williams. So congratulations.
Okay.
Our babies are there in a good place to get a good education, and they'll be taking over the world soon.
Heard that.
Only a matter of time. And apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So how are you on your quest to take over the world? What's new with you?
Well, if you haven't been following, yesterday me and Tony Connor once again on Twitter had a little back and forth, and it ended with him calling me a Black Karen. And yeah,
I didn't know there was such a thing as a Black Karen. Whoa!
But I'll take Karen with pride. Long as he's wasting taxpayers' money by using little fat fingers on Twitter, being a Republican puppet, I'll take Karen any day, as long as he's outed. And that's what happened. Basically what ended up how the conversation started. Because people don't know the backstory behind it. I made a status. I tweeted. I did a tweet after I saw the video that was put out with the governor saying that he wanted to defund the FBI. Backstory to this: Governor Ricketts was in Nevada over the weekend. A reporter did an undercover report. She turns around and she's there talking. He's talking about Clinton's emails, and then he turns around and he goes, "Oh, well," they said, "What about defunding the FBI?" He said, "Oh, we have to have control of the House. We'll get control of the House in the fall." And then someone goes, "Oh, it's funny we're talking about defund the FBI." He goes, "Yeah," like kind of joking. I'm like, "Oh," so I tagged him and Tony Connor. I said, "Hey, what's up with your boy, Tony? He talking about defund the FBI. That's the police, right? Like, we should be back in the blue. That's what you said. Like, now you want to defund the FBI." Well, he didn't comment on mine. So our chair, she then makes one around the same time I did. Well, Tony comes back maybe 8 hours later. He must have been asleep with his CPAP. I don't know what he was doing, but he must have been asleep. And then he came back and he turns around and I'm sorry, I'm gonna make jokes because he really makes me so mad. I don't know if I'm just gonna make jokes. And so he comes back and he comments on her status, and then he asks me and says that I have a lack of understanding for law enforcement. And so it went to this whole thing. "No, sir, you have a lack." So you have to follow me on Twitter to go see it.
I told you, Twitter is where the smoke is happening.
And so then he goes, "Well, what happened? What about the meeting that we had with the chief?" Like he tried to like as if I was like some basically you outed you. I never talked publicly about the meeting that we had with the chief. So you said about. So he said, "Well, what about that meeting?" I said, "Oh, you mean the meeting that you apologized to me at in front of the chief and said you'll do better?" And then he goes, "Oh, the Black Karen is at it again." So, I'll take Black Karen over a tight suit any day.
Carolyn Jack says that's not a thing.
Yeah. Nope. It's just sad that we have somebody in law enforcement who is supposed to represent and who actually is the president of the union, who represents all the police officers in the city of Omaha, who continues to get on Facebook and abuse taxpayer money during city hours when he should be working. And he is on Twitter spewing hate for the Republicans. And I think it's wrong. And I think Gene Stothert and Chief Schmatter need to look into it because he is abusing taxpayer money. He spends too much time with those little fat fingers on Twitter, rather than out here solving these murders and these different crimes. He could be copying papers, doing something to help the real people who are real cops who are doing the work. He could be doing something administrative, but his administrative is on Twitter, and I think it's wrong. So somebody need to look into that, because them are our taxpayer dollars, and he's sitting on Twitter all day.
Hot mess. I'm definitely getting on Twitter and start seeing this Twitter where the drama's at. What's going on?
I've officially blocked him because I said, after that, I said it took too much energy. I don't know. I grew up with Tony. People don't understand. It's not like I don't know who Tony is. Me and Tony grew up together as kids. I made a joke. I said most likely he was mad he didn't get to play with us because he was always looking through the blinds. I don't know what it is with him and me and him. Like, I don't know. Maybe he got a crush on me. I don't know what it is.
Might hit him too hard with the dodgeball.
I don't know. But it's like every time Tony feels that he can disrespect. And not only that, when I look at his Twitter, what really triggered me yesterday was when I looked at his Twitter, and he continues to put Black activists and community leaders at risk on his page. And I don't like it. Like, for instance, he made a post about Jaden Perkins. Okay, yes, they had a rally last year. Again, anybody has a right to protest the police if they want to. They're still mad about the pig head. Chest up, chin, put chest out, chin up. Suck it up, buddy. It happened. And he continues to put people at risk. And what I don't understand is how he can continue to put a Black man on his page and put a target on his back. Now, my thing is, if these people didn't care about going to the Capitol on January 6th and doing what they did and hurting and killing cops while they were there, what makes you think they don't care about what they would do to us here in Omaha, Nebraska as a Black individual? They'll show up at our doorsteps. And so I don't trust that he is not a person he should not be a police officer, because he is not there to serve and protect. He is putting people in danger every day by spewing his hate on his face, on his Twitter, and reposting different stories. And then he feels as if someone has to give him respect. No, we don't. It's time for you to retire. Time for you to go and take your pension. And if you want to sit on Twitter all day collecting a pension, so be it. But you should not be in uniform.
If correct me if I'm wrong, the president of the union is not an elected position, though, right?
It's elected by the body of the union members, of the police officers.
So it's elected by the police.
Yes, by the ones who, yes, by the individual, the officers, yes. Whoever's a member of the union, they vote him in. Right. So it's not by the if I'm, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's not by the city. The mayor has no well, I mean, most likely she does, but she has no,
right.
Yeah, she doesn't have any say, so it's not like an elected official, like on a ballot or anything.
Right, an appointed position or anything.
Yeah, no.
I keep on having to remind myself this is a Black man. I don't know him. I'm just like,
never met him.
Don't sound like a Black man. I don't know. So anyway, moving on.
I don't trust that I could be in danger and that Black man would protect me. Put it that way.
Well, like you said, if he's putting people's names out there and stuff like that, then he's not being very protective of anybody anyway. So, yeah, not cool, not cool. Anybody else seeing Buddy's camera stuck? Is it just me? Is it on my side? Yeah, you might have to restart. Come back in. In the meantime, I want to, Precious, while we're here, we have Senator Carol Blood, put some respect on her name in the chat, and I wanted to see what you had to say about some of the things she was saying, because we put the question out there: how come Pillin doesn't want to debate Carol Blood? And we got some theories from Josh Tay. Carol Blood says a lot on the subject as well. She is not holding back.
Have y'all watched Carol Blood in the legislature? Have y'all watched her?
Yes.
The woman knows her facts. She does not. She knows what she's talking about, and she's not going to come with talking points that are given to her by the party. Carol Blood's going to do the research, and she's going to talk about the issues that are impacting Nebraskans. Not, like she said, not the issues, not the negative. She's going to talk about the positive and what she can do for Nebraska. Yes, we know there's negative things that we need to fix, but we need to be talking about the things that are working and what we can do to make the other things that aren't working work. And that's what she's going to do. So that's why he won't debate her. I mean, he has nothing to stand on. He has nothing to stand on. And all he's doing is buying his way. You'll start to see these horrible ads like he did during the primary. You'll see the horrible things that he said when he, as a regent, that he has said. And I promise you, Carol Blood is the best candidate for Nebraska. She is the best person to run this state and to be able to talk about the issues that are impacting everyday Nebraskans and how we can make our state much better. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so we need everybody out there. We need y'all with Carol Blood signs. We need y'all writing postcards. We need y'all donating. We need y'all telling y'all friends, telling y'all cousins, telling whoever will listen why Carol Blood should be the next governor and why we got to make sure that we get Ricketts and his people out of that governor's office, governor's mansion.
Yeah. Yeah. Carol Blood is in the chat, says we have an opportunity to do better for all. So
yes, and vote. And right. You just don't tell them about it. Vote. Make sure they're showing up to the polls on November 8th. Make sure they're requesting those early ballots, making sure that they're actually exercising their right, their vote, and making sure we're getting new leadership. Like they say, it's new blood. We need that down in Lincoln. We need that for the state of Nebraska. We're tired of Ricketts and all his little puppets and minions and everything that they talk about. They are not for everybody. They are for themselves. They are for political gain. They are not for everybody. And we need somebody who's going to be for everybody, not just Republicans and people that agree, because no one's always going to agree. We need someone who's going to be for everybody: Republicans, Democrats, independents, farmers, Black communities, our Hispanic communities, our Native communities, every community, our new refugee community. Everybody who is here in Nebraska, we need Carol Blood will represent.
Leah Keister says, "My name is Leah, and I approve this message." Carol Blood for governor says, or else you'll get more of the same as we've had the last 25 years, which is very, very true. Let me ask you this, and let me ask everybody this: what can we do to get a debate to happen? I just in talking about it, I'm like, can we sign some kind of petition and get a whole bunch of people saying it? Like what?
I mean, honestly, I mean, it's up to the person. It's up to the candidate. I mean, they technically don't have to debate if they say they don't want to. But the best thing then is for us to do is to make sure that we're getting Carol Blood out there, even if it's just having a town hall with Carol Blood. We have a town hall with Carol Blood. Get her name out there. Get people to know who she is and what she stands for and why she's the best candidate and why she should be the next governor of Nebraska.
There you go. I'm still wanting this fool to debate her. But,
Paul wants to smoke.
I want to see the smoke. I need some prime time television.
Illin Pillin.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't even know if it'll take a big network. Like, I mean, even Channel 3. He just doesn't. I just feel like he doesn't bring any type of substance. Like, what is he going to honestly say? Like, really, what is he going to say?
Yeah, Beth Davis Wilson in the chat says he won't debate. He has nothing to add.
He doesn't. He has nothing to add, nothing but hate. I mean, his ads even show that he didn't really have nothing to say because he cocking guns and like, oh, if I say you're back to police, I'm a racist. No, that's not the case, and that's why I wish they would quit trying to use those scare tactics. At the end of the day. No, and y'all know how I feel, and I know we've had this conversation. Everybody doesn't feel that the police are bad. There's bad cops. Yes, we know that. Do they need to put some more funding into community resources, into really supporting and bringing a more positive look? Yes. So when you get people like him and Tony Connor, who always want to say Black people hate the police, because that's what they're doing, they're making it harder for the good cops who really want to make change. And then they're blocking the way that we want to say no. If we could say, hey, we know this money should go to good community resources in the community and let people do some community policing and have a relationship with the police department so that we won't have unrest in our city if something happens. They want to continue to have that rift because they know if they have that rift, they can still be in control and they can use that narrative. But that's another subject, y'all.
Carol Blood for governor says they don't want the public to know the truth about government and its failures. Ron's Review says make a commercial with Senator Blood going around to Nebraska landmarks with her yelling his name, and calling his name.
Philin, where you at?
You be peeling.
You be peeling. Maybe we should do, the Where's Waldo and just have all Carol Blood in there, and then put him somewhere. Like, where's Philin? You don't see him nowhere.
Christy North, he's a coward. Mark Manor says someone on Twitter said they should prop up a gun on stage and as his stand and have Senator Blood debate that. I think that brings me back to that Clint Eastwood moment of him trying to talk to the chair and all that mess. But yeah, it makes sense. Marianne Williams says that we need a news outlet to just schedule one and dare him to be a no-show. Can't show up, Senator Blood gets the microphone alone in that time slot. Good idea. We should call KMTV might be one of the channels that can be on that. We'll see. Black Dynamite says Omaha is going to look like the show The Chi. Yeah, you put it on the stack. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear more from her. Every time I do see her speak, I learn something in a big way. So it's like, yeah, can we have that back? Can we have some of that instead of just shaking our heads every time anybody in power gets up to speak these days? Well, anytime I'm like, I can't even. Rick is. I feel like I used to feel with Trump. I can't even. As soon as Rick is start talking, I'm just like, let me just go on. I'm about to go on and turn the channel. Then let me.
So I'm very petty. I look at his mouth and I'll be like.
Those of you just joining us 7:51 right now, if you believe in the concept of time, we are politicking with P right now. Precious McKesson, put some respect on her name. And we were definitely talking about a couple subjects, some smoke that happened on Twitter that I'm about to go back and try to find out.
Yeah, we got to find receipts.
And also,
it's on Facebook too. It's on my Facebook. I copied it, but I mean, but then Twitter is much better because as I was watching it again, looking at it again at 12 o'clock in the morning, like I started noticing there was like comments in other areas, and I was like, oh, I gotta start opening these. I thought,
see,
and I was
the whole thread.
Opening and blocking. See, yesterday I had time. Like I said, normally I say, I'm a new Precious, like, ease up a little bit. But yesterday, baby, I was ready to hoop. I was like, let's go. Let's go, Tony. I got time. Look, I'm hot right now. I was like Steph Curry yesterday. Let's go.
You got the right one.
I love it. Before we let you get out of here, we got a couple more things we want to jump into, buddy. As a matter of fact, I know you jumping at the bit on something. What you got?
Yeah, I got a couple. Actually, just a couple conversations we've been having here that I would like to get your take on. Maybe put on your neighborhood alliance hat for a second. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on what's going on with the Spencer project.
So I have been honest with you. North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance has not been updated on that. I have not been updated on the Spencer project. I have not been included in any conversations. I don't know if any conversations is happening. I honestly do not know what's going on with that project. That's my honest to God answer. We have not. North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance has not been contacted about that.
And that's interesting because every time we hear about these affordable housing projects, they always say we're talking to community leaders and stakeholders, and I'm always wondering, like, yeah, you're using these buzzwords, but who are these people exactly? Like, who are these people you're actually talking to? Where are they? Like,
right. I know the last time they had, the three that I've known, the two I've known of, I know the one in the beginning that they had at 75 North. That was years ago, before when they first started the project, talking about it. And then I know sometime last year there was a community forum. I think it may have been at the Learning Community. It was somewhere on 30th. It may have been at Howard Kennedy. I'm not for sure, but I didn't attend that. But since then, I have not heard anything, any type of community forums. No, I have not received any type of invitation for Nona to attend anything, so I don't know.
So it's in the dark. Okay.
All right. Brianna says it's going to be rebuilt by private developers, market rate housing.
And that's wrong, because when not saying that Brianna was wrong, but that's wrong what they're doing, because when they proposed it, it was supposed to be market rate, but the first right to refusal should go to the people who was moved out. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, because I want to know. My question was, how are you going to track the people who moved, because last time they said when people moved from Hilltop, they couldn't track them. I'm like, well, maybe that's because many of those people that live there, individuals, have kids. So maybe you need to partner with OPS so that you're able to track, because OPS would have the most current address. Well, they should have the most current address because the kids are in their school district, you know. Mm-hmm. So that should be a way to partner with them so that when it's time for applications to come out for people to be able to, you know, to move into those residences, they should be able to have the first right to refusal. I mean, it's to me, it's like, who wouldn't want to have a brand new apartment that no one else has ever used the restroom in? You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't want to be able to be the first to say, hey, you know what? During this time, this is where I lived at. They redeveloped this. This is where I raised my family, and I want to come back. So, I mean, again, it's to me, market rate. What is market rate over there? That's what I want to know. What is market rate considered? Because market rate in that area should be no more than, my personal opinion, in that area should be no more than $800, depending, because no more than between $600 and $800 a month, depending, because of the income barriers that are in that area. Majority of those people are retired. So there's some retirees over there, but majority of the people are not making more than $15 an hour.
And that's what I mentioned. Like, even for the market rate, if I'm a person who can afford market rate, why would I go there to have to commute, you know, halfway across town to the job that's actually paying me to be able to afford that? It just doesn't make much sense.
Because they're trying to get people closer to downtown, try to get them closer to the amenities, all the action. That's why they're building it up. Gentrification at its finest.
There you go. Like that. Omaha is going to look like the show. Oh, no, he says affordable housing project is a fancy way of saying replacement gentrified projects. It's sad.
It's a buzzword. We've been saying that, but
I don't even know if they even told people that they can have first dibs on the, you know what I'm saying?
So when we were in that forum, when they first had the forum, that was like that had to be in 19, because it was either in 18 or 19. It was not in 20, because we had I'm able to remember my dates because COVID hit in 20. So it was either in 18 or 19. And I think it was like 19-ish, because it was before the election, because myself and Ann Ashford were in the meeting together. And it was a group of community members. We talked about it. I mean, it was a big forum, and that was one of the questions, was like, how are we going to make sure that the people who are being displaced, who are being moved, and I say displaced because, number one, you are moving them out of their community, the community that they have raised their kids in, and you're putting them into another community that most likely they have to readapt to that community. But how can we make sure that those individuals are able to come back and live in this new development and be able to enjoy the new amenities that you're now putting in there? I mean, I just feel like that should be something that's done. And they said that they will be in constant contact. But I said, but we got to make sure it's not like how it happened when the people in Hilltop were moved out, and then you lost people, and then it comes back and people wasn't able to move into that area. I mean, I don't even know how many people live in 75 North that originally lived in the Hilltop housing projects when they were there. And I feel like that is, again, and they had mixed income in that, on that one. They had different types of income, because they even had a professor from UNO that lived over there. And I remember I said, well, why? They said, because he pays market rate, so it's mixed income housing. I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, who's responsible for that, and who's going to hold them accountable? Because again, that needs to be done.
And that's the real question. Every time I'm hearing any of this, you can't leave it up to the developer to follow through on any of these ideas.
The developer is just there to build the property. Who is managing? Who's overseeing? Who's managing this property to make sure these residents, like, who's going to be the managing company? That's what the thing is. Like, is it going to be Selden?
And that's been the kind of thing that I've been adamant about, because I've been running into that here in Atlanta, as far as, properties moving from management company to management company. And every time a new management company comes in, it's almost like new sheriff in town. We're not doing this, we're not doing that. Rents almost always go up. It's almost always impossible to get repairs made. It just becomes more the same.
It's horrible. And Selden is Selden has a lot of property, manages a lot of these properties in North Omaha. And then they don't even have, and I'll be honest with you, I went into them, and maybe they do they do have some new faces, but when I was dealing with them, they didn't have people that looked like us, and they were the ones where had people who looked like me going in to apply for these apartments. And then you got these people who turning their nose up at people because they're trying to get apartments, and they're easy to say, no, you can't get it. So now it's going to be much easier for them to say, no, you don't qualify. And then turn around and you have somebody who's not even from the neighborhood go and apply. Oh my gosh, yes, we're so happy to have you here. We're doing this. And then that's when you start to see it.
Selden is the company that manages 75 North.
Yes, if at last I know, I don't know if it's changed, but they manage 75 North. They manage Grace Apartments down off of 24th. They manage the apartments behind. They manage the condos, the condos that are right there off of 24th across from Church of God. They even manage. I think they manage the senior living. They manage a lot.
They do. Because when I called to try to get a spot at 75 North, that's what they did. They were like, well, we only got one spot left, but what we can do is put your name down. We have several different properties we can try to match you with. And it was just real. I was expressing that it was just real cold and corporate when I called, trying to find out what was going on there. And then I did a little research on that too to see what companies. Couldn't remember the name of the company. But I did a little research on them at the time to see like how many other properties they were talking about, where they were talking about, and all that.
Yeah, they don't even. I mean, I went to Selden one time to look at I went on their website to look to see like who, like what their demographics look like of their managers. Look in that higher office, they don't got not one black person.
Nope. I'm looking at the picture now.
Let me tell you something. I've learned. That's something I've learned. People always say, look who's running the company. When you dealing with organizations, especially as a black community, go look at see who's running their organization and see what the demographics are set up. And that tells you right then and there. It ain't for you.
There you go. Von Chapman in the chat says market rate is controlled by the property owners. Moving from subsidized housing to private ownership without rental caps will price and move most from the community out of the community. It says who pays Selden to manage these properties?
I don't know that because I've never been an apartment management company.
We don't know who the owner is.
Follow the money.
Right. Follow the money. Who's the owner? Very true.
802. Who's the silent owners?
Right.
Right. I mean, we kind of have found out a few of those already. So, who's all, this is the problem. Who pays Selden to manage these properties is the question. 802 right now, if you believe in the concept of time, welcome to the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy the Guy. We're politicking with P right now. Precious Kesson, put some respect on her name, is going down. And we really appreciate you coming in today. So we missed you last week. Was you out in DC last week?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I saw the pictures and I was like, yeah, she ain't coming on today because she's out doing a thing.
That was a lot. I don't know how people. I mean, I love me some Biden, y'all.
Biden's winning right now.
But Biden had us out in that hot sun. I almost put the church finger up at one, like, because I was fried. I said, "Now I know y'all ain't got no misters at the White House." Like, I made a comment. I shouldn't have did this, but I was being funny as usual. I always try to make hard situation. I always try to make a little laugh. I said, I know he knows somebody at NASA who can go hit one of these clouds real quick and make it.
No.
A little chemtrail up for us real quick, Biden. Come on.
Man, come on.
And this guy looked over at me and he was like, I said that should be in the climate bill. And he started laughing. He said, no. I promise y'all, I mean, I have never been so appreciative of the wind. When the wind blew, like, normally be like, oh my God, I was so happy. I was like, oh. But I will tell a moment, one of the funny moments, I missed my picture with Kamala because I was too busy gushing. So when the vice president was talking, I was right by this rope and I had my sunglasses on, she had her sunglasses on and she just took them off and she looked over at me and I waved at her and she said, and then she went like this and here I go. I'm like, damn it, that was my picture.
Missed your photo op. But I
was just so happy, just to be when she acknowledged when she saw me, I was just so happy, and then it was a good event, it was a good event.
What was the event?
It was for the CHIP bill. the chip bill. So basically, the manufacturer of the little chips that go into smart cars and stuff is basically investing more money into companies rather than having to go to China. But what really stood out was there's a young black man who lived in DC, grew up in DC, and he has a smart charging company for smart cars. And he was featured there, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look for his name while I'm on here, because I was very impressed. Like, he went to, and I think he went to Syracuse, I think also. But I'll post it in the chat. But he's a young man who is actually doing big things in the auto industry, especially with these smart cars. And he picked the right one. So, they talk about how Steve Jobs did Apple and did all that stuff. Well, this young man, he did the right one. He went something different. So yeah, really, it was really good to be there and to witness that. And like you said, Biden has been winning, and again, we'll continue to win. There's going to be times where we're not winning, but again, at the end of the day, is to make sure that all Americans are able to provide for their families, get good jobs, make sure the kids are in school. I mean, that's how I look at it, and make sure that we're able to provide.
Speaking of Biden winning, he just signed this new bill, this climate thing that had some language in there about healthcare. Could you fill us in a little bit? Do you know much about that?
I have not read that entire bill.
Okay, I'm wondering about the healthcare part for sure.
Yeah, but I'll read it and see what's in there, and then I will get back to you. But I mean, yeah, I have not read. I don't even want to speculate because I have not read the entire bill, so I don't want to.
This is like a third or fourth time he's gotten some billions in. He's kind of winning when it comes to the white man getting the money and trying to spread it out.
I mean, and let's also remember that the 3 Republicans in Nebraska voted against that. So I just want y'all to make sure y'all
put the receipts, put that in your memory bank.
In there, Bacon, Flood, and Adrian Smith. So again, when we're looking at making changes and really getting things passed, you have those 3 in Nebraska who want us to remain the same and who are blocking these bills. But they think they're blocking them, but they're passing. But just remember that as we go into this election season on November 8th, they're not who they say they are. They're continue to block legislation or try to block legislation that can really really make a change here in Nebraska.
Once again, we got the early voting cards in.
Yes.
And this is what they look like now. They got the little green thing at the top. It's not all green like they were before, but go ahead.
And drop them off. If you don't have a stamp, that's okay. You can take them to the Charles B. Washington Branch Library. You can take them to the there's a box in the Goodwill parking lot off of 72nd and Ames. You can take them down to the my gosh, what am I saying?
Well, you can go down. You can take them down to the Douglas
County Election Commission. It's a lot, and I know also with that healthcare part, and this should be that bill, or maybe he signed so many bills, but it does help. It does help with insulin. One of those bills, because there was a mom who has been paying like $1,200 or $1,500 a month for insulin, and now it's going to cap it. And that's the thing: when you have people who are blocking these bills, like Don Bacon, blocking bills that are life threatening to kids. You have a mom who's a teacher, and we know teachers are already underpaid, and she's paying out of her pocket for insulin. And then knowing that if this son does not get insulin within 12 hours of his last dose, or however, he could die. But you got them blocking it when this could help a mother be able to afford it. And now, not only that, she's able to afford her insulin, she's able to make sure that bills are paid. She's able to now be able to use that other money in her household. It's like it's not cool at all.
Ridiculous. It's not funky at all. I'm not with anybody who thinks it's a good idea to allow a company to charge somebody that kind of money. It's just ridiculous. Marianne Williams in the chat says, I believe the bill caps healthcare costs for seniors at $2,000 a month and gives Medicare the ability to negotiate prices. So
that's good. And it does not. And I'll give this last example of this one. It cap. Yes. So I'll give an example for my brother. My brother was is a quadriplegic, and there was a certain pill that my brother would take because he has it's called dysreflexia. So basically, it's like a spike of your high blood pressure, and it like literally your hand, you can tell when it's on a spike, but it's a nerve thing, and your hair stands up on your arms. It's crazy. And so there was this doctor who in Chicago who realized that this pill, which was for something else, actually worked for this disorder that they have, that quadriplegics have. And so they were getting the pills, and so they started prescribing it. I promise you, when we first got the pill, it was no issue. Like, we didn't have to have approval or nothing. I wish I would have kept this. When he first got the pills, I think the pills were like maybe, I would always look at the receipt, like how much you saved. Because on Walgreens, if you look at the package, it'll say how much you saved. Even if you're on Medicaid, it tells you how much you saved. It tells you what the price is. And I think when he first started getting the pills, it was like $20. He was like, oh, you saved $20. And I'll never forget one time I was in Madonna and I had to go pick up his medicine. And literally on that bottle of pills, it said, you saved $1,200 and something. And I was like, are you serious? So basically, I feel that once the pharmaceutical company realized that this pill could be used for different things, that they like jacked the price up on it. And so, yeah, so that was my first experience. And that was like in maybe 17, 18 when this happened with this medicine. And I kept asking, I said, let me research this. But I know the medicine when I researched it at that time, the medicine was used for something else. But this doctor in Chicago, who was a spinal cord injury doctor, and started realizing that this medicine worked for his patients. And so they started using this medicine for those with spinal cord injuries to help with that nerve damage. And so that's when I started looking at stuff a lot more, especially with my brother and with my mom, because my mom and my brother are both diabetics. And I started looking at it, and it was really frustrating, when my mom was working, had healthcare insurance, but was still having to come out of pocket for insulin. And it's like, then she's not making, she's in the healthcare field, and here you are, having to decide to pay this or to get your insulin. And it's really sad. It's really sad.
That situation you were talking about with your brother's pill is super infuriating. The thing that I remember about a lot of the argument is that they have to charge these exorbitant prices because they're doing all this research and it funds the research and all that. But if you already did all the research and came out with a $20 pill and then jacked the price up later, that's something different. And that's
it did. Once they realized that it was, and I promise y'all, I couldn't believe it. And then you had to start getting the authorization for it. And then now you have Medicaid fighting, saying, well, do they really need this? And they're like, yes, they need this. Like these patients need this. This is helping them with that nerve damage. I mean, if people don't know, once you are quadriplegic, depending on which C nerve or on your vertebrae is damaged, is gone. There's certain things that you need, but this stuff would spike his high blood pressure. Like, you knew it was coming because the hair on his arms would just stand up. Even though he couldn't feel it, but he knew it because the nerves and things in his body would change. So literally they like,
that's jacked up, man.
Yeah, they did that pill. They did it real bad.
Chrissy Norris says the research is done on taxpayers on dime. On top of that, Von Chapman says capitalism needs victims to succeed, even if they have to create victims. Very, very true. 8:13 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, moving on. As a matter of fact, I probably want to leave it up to you for some things. What is it that you want us to know this week, and what is it that's on your mind? What you want to talk about? What's important? We all know about the election. We're gonna keep on saying that. But what else? What else is going on?
That is the most important thing to me right now, is this election and making sure that we are getting people out to vote. But not only that, I will also say that another thing that's important to me is talking about the violence that is happening in our communities, in the city. And I'm not just gonna say just in the city in general, but especially in our community. And I just say this because the other night we lost the 18-year-old, and I actually heard those gunshots. I was laying in my bed, and I live literally on the other side of the park. And I literally heard those rounds, and I didn't know where they were coming from. And it was 11:30, Yes, I did call because I mean it was that high power. I'm like something, and then what really upset me is that 10 minutes later, maybe 5 minutes later, they came back again and shot up and did it again. And so then when they were canvassing, they found that young man in the car. And so I just want to send my condolences to that family. But I also want to talk to, we have kids out here who are running these streets and who are committing these crimes. And we gotta do something. We have to do something. We have to figure out how to get these kids on the right track. And we have to talk about how these kids are still in these cars. And I say this, and I say it with all parents. Get your kids, because the last thing you want is for them to run up on the wrong person and then their lives are taken. And then now we have to, mourn that child. There are resources out here. And I know sometimes people say there's nothing you can do. There's some good people out here. There's some good Black men out here in this community who will take those kids in to help them. Not saying take them in housing wise, but take them in to get them involved in some activities. We gotta break this generational curse. We gotta break it, because right now we're losing kids, and kids are taking lives of other kids. And half the time, some of these kids are in school, and they're committing these crimes. And I mean, it's so sad that we have to have a loss of life like this gunned down. We have to have a young man gunned down by most likely a young man that's young men that are his age, most likely. And so. I just say we need to really focus on that and really pray for our community, pray for our kids as they go back to school. Many are going back today. Pray that, anybody who wants to do any type of evil, that no harm can be done to our kids, because that is something that, we have to think about. And it's sad that, we see kids preparing for school, but preparing for active shooter drills. Like what happened to the tornado drills? That's the drills that I remember, the tornado drill and the fire drill. And so I just say, just as a community, let's just pray for our kids. Let's pray for our youth as they go back to school. Pray for the youth that we've lost. Pray for the kids who may not know that it's positive days ahead. They don't have to be involved in violence. They can really change their lives. So that's what I'll leave it at.
There you go. Preston McKesson, an actual parent, an actual mother of a child here in North Omaha, in Nebraska, saying what we're thinking and feeling, which is we definitely got to take care of it on that level as well. On this show, we don't really want to sensationalize too much of the violence, but unless there is affecting people directly that want to speak on it, and we're never opposed to that, but we're also trying to look for solutions all the time. And of course, we talk a lot about the high level solutions, which is if there's less poverty in our area, then there'll be less crime. But we also got to do what you did, which is address the actual parents and children as well. So
it's proven. If we have less poverty in our community, we have less violence. And we need to really look at, as as this ARP funding is coming through, let's not just look at buildings. Where are the jobs? Because the job industry, and we have lots of land in North Omaha, around North Omaha, that is accessible to build these organizations, these companies, so that people from the community can have easy access, who can take a bus to work or ride a bike because it's convenient, instead of putting all these jobs that are not on bus lines, or the good paying jobs where they got to take 3 and 4 buses or get up 2 and 3 hours early. We need to really talk about that more. We need jobs in this community so that people in the community could go to work and can thrive and can provide for their families, because then we have less. The more people working, I honestly feel we do have less poverty. We have less crime.
Yeah. Very, very, very good. We definitely appreciate all your comments on all these things. We got some other things coming up that definitely want to talk about. Von Chapman's talking about 37% for the police budget. They did have the budget meeting here just recently as well, just passed, right? And there was a bunch of people. There was a lot of opposition to stuff like that 37% increase for the police budget. Before you go, you got any parting words? And did you know anything about the budget meeting at all?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not saying that I'm disconnecting, but I feel like I have done so much work that I now pick and choose of what battle that I want to be a part of.
There you go.
As you should.
And I feel this way because it's, and not saying I'm giving up, but I just feel like it's just something in me now that has really changed my thoughts process. And I mean, I used to go to every single meeting, bust my butt to get here, get there. And I'm now just putting Precious first, and putting Precious's health first, putting Precious's career first, and really making change and making sure that we get good people elected. So then when we come back down for the mayoral in 2025, we don't have to deal with this budget thing, because now we're gonna have a mayor in office who's gonna be able to say, I'm cutting this budget, and who's not gonna be scared to cut the budget because she's scared. Oh, I shouldn't say she, whoever it is, shouldn't be scared that it's gonna take away from her donors, he or she's donors. Mm-hmm. So again, I pick and choose what meetings I want to go to. It's not a competition. I think it's enough work out here for everyone. I can tell y'all, keep up the good fight, because people don't realize I've been doing this since 2008. A sister's tired.
Yeah, well, it's a natural process. You take everything all in first, and then you naturally start to pare down and refine and figure out the priority and which thing you think is important. And it's just a natural process. So you a veteran in the game now. So now you start to know.
And shout out to Kimra, because Kimra got me back in on a project that I did. At first, I was like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm done. And Kimra called. She was like, well, we about to collaborate. We about to do this. And I was like, okay.
The fighter.
Yeah. So, but I do pick and choose now of where I want to be at, what meetings I want to attend. Because, at the end of the day, there's people who are new to this game who don't give respect to the vets in this game. And they always want to say, where was you at? Well, let me tell you where I was at, because when you was being a kid, I was here. So just respect your elders, because you just getting here to where we been at. Okay. Mm-hmm. So again, I pick and choose where I want to go. I don't have to go. I don't have to be in every meeting to be known. I like
it. Pop says the fighter has to choose their battles to be most effective. So that's what's up.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming on as usual. It's always a pleasure.
I appreciate y'all.
And let us know. Let us know if you're going out of town or something like that. We can still try to hook something up. So we definitely just want to be able to speak to you as much as we can. So hopefully,
I'll be doing some stuff. I think I'm out of town in September. I'll let you know. I'll be in DC again, and then I'll be back there again for 30. So I'm cooking something up, y'all. I mean, I can't. I mean,
okay.
Y'all know. I don't never stay in one spot. So just know a system is preparing something that is going to be major. And and I'm blessed to have good people who are mentoring me and in my corner. But just know politics is where it's at. And I have honestly didn't know I made my mark in the way I did, but it's good work out here. And I'm ready for that good fight. I'm ready to get in some good trouble and to really fight. And so just know it is what it is. So that's why I say I pick and choose where you want to be at. Because again, when you pick and choose, that's when people start to say, oh, well, wait a minute. We didn't see you. You didn't have to see me.
All right.
But I gotta go, y'all.
We appreciate you.
I'm just gonna tell you this time, let us be the ones that break the news. Let us be the ones
let us know.
Let us be the spokespeople that break it for the rest of the world, whatever it is you're doing.
Who broke it last time?
I don't remember. But I know I had to find out.
Because they sent out a press release. The White House sent out a press release.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They did beat everybody to the punch. But hey, I was trying to, that's what I get for trying to beat the White House.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck on that.
But it's nothing to where I'll be. It's nothing that I'll be leaving the state or anything, or taking a new job or anything. It's just I just got some other things that I'll be able to participate in. And really bring a little bit more attention to Nebraska politics. Because let me tell y'all, Nebraska politics is where, you get a lot of national attention looking into Nebraska politics. We have a different demographics, and we have some great candidates running. And I tell y'all, go look at those candidates who are running. Go look. We have some great candidates running, and it's not always about we have our legislature, we have our school board, we have our metro community. People are in place to make changes on all different levels, as well as our governor and Congress. So just make sure, that's where I want to really start to focus on. And that's why, you know, I always say, you know, Nebraska is where it's at. You know, when you walk in a room and they look at you like, I'm just a black girl from Omaha, Nebraska, who grew up on 45th and James and who had an opportunity to make change. And baby, ain't nobody taking that from me, okay?
Own it.
But I gotta go now, y'all, because y'all keep me on here forever.
I'll leave it at that. Pop says, "Go get him, Precious." Lake Keisha says, "Thanks for all you do."
Tell Connor I'm training for him. I'm training.
She's a maniac.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Precious McKesson, thank you. It's go good to see you.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one. For those who are just tuning in, as always, we're just politicking with P. Precious McKesson. A pleasure, as always.
Always. Hey, we got Kimra Snipes in, who's exactly the person I wanted to talk about. She gave us a good morning. Hold tight, Miss Snipes. We're going to really take a quick break and we'll come back. But I wanted to ask you a question because I saw you at the meeting that we're wondering about and want you to give us a little recap. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All be, buddy to God. All of you, the chat chimers, will be right back, y'all. That is not the track I was trying to play right
Yeah, they're going to kick us off with that. They're going to can't do that.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
I wish.
Do it on Twitch. I'm trying to tell you. But welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It was a late in the morning, bro. That was late. That was a late in the morning.
I think I might be lagging.
All right. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All right, you back.
Okay.
A little new Pops theme going on there called what was that called? Pop Sunny Day. That's what's happening.
I like that.
Out here too. I like that. Very, very nice and easy. That's going on, man. Let's see. Oh man, I'm finna get on the bus headed to Scooters. Let me see if I got my headphones. Who's over there, a Facebook user saying that? Appreciate you.
Miss Snipes.
Snipes. Okay, cool. Yeah. We definitely. She says, okay, I do. We definitely want to talk to you about this meeting that just happened that you posted about. So, well, first of all, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us, 8:28 right now. We believe in the concept of time, and you stumbled on Buddy and myself doing the thing here with the chat. Chime. So, thank you for joining us. Shout out to Star Trek Rich and the Weberized crew as well. We are live from the void right now, and we've decided to do that so that we can kind of move around the town a little bit and do some live broadcasting from some different places. So okay, she says she getting that's what I'm doing. I'm stalling so that Kimra Snipes can get her notes out. We definitely want to hook that up. And I tell you what, if you want to wait and give us a recap on Friday and just have you on the show, we can do that too. But we're definitely talking about this meeting that just happened with the neighborhood associations and this the ARPA funds that we've been talking about the ARPA funds for a while now. We've been trying to come up with some ideas about what to do with those ARPA funds to give them to the heads that put these things together. And and you've been doing the work on the front lines there with the neighborhood associations on what to do with some of these funds, and I can't wait to hear a little bit about it. So once again, if you got something to share, cool. We'll jump into the story a little bit first, and then let you get your notes together. But I would actually like to have you on the show Friday, if you can, because I know that there's more than you can even talk about in this last half hour of the show.
Yeah.
So, buddy, why don't you give us a little recap of what's going on here with that story, and we'll come back and talk to her as soon. She said there's so much happening. I heard that.
Yeah, well, in regards to you're referring to the ARPA funds?
Yeah, there was a meeting there well, we didn't have any story on that meeting, but
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I have a story on the city budget, but it's not quite the ARPA funds. We'll
okay.
definitely
So
have to bring her on.
let's talk about that, and then she says she's good for Friday right now, so we'll have her on Friday
Perfect,
and talk
perfect,
about that
perfect.
meeting. Yep. Appreciate you.
Yes, there are a lot of funds, a lot of changing of hands of money out there. So yeah, definitely a lot of conversations in regards to the ARPA funds. Looking forward to that. But big shout out to everybody who showed up yesterday for the Omaha City budget conversation that went down, and Precious kind of alluded to it as far, and a few people in the chat alluded to the police budget component of the argument or conversation that happened. But again, that wasn't it. There was also funding for a permanent protected bike lane that popped up in the conversation, and also additional funding for library services were some of the main focuses for the public hearing on the 2023 city budget that took place yesterday. Big shout out to Teresa Summerlin, who's one of the Omahans who made her voice be heard. She called for a shift of money from the police department to community programs, saying, I was here a year ago, and you probably heard me say a lot of the same things. You guys disappointed me with your budget decisions. Please don't do it again. And for those of you who aren't aware, Omaha Mayor Gene Stothert did propose in the new budget to increase the police department budget of 178 million by about 4.6%. So several millions going back into the police department as far as Mayor Stothert is proposing. The price tag includes 906 sworn officers, unchanged from the previous year, but the 2023 budget accounts for an additional 35 to 40 more police cruisers, as well as an equipment upgrade to better communicate with Douglas County 911. So again, Mayor Stothert is asking for more toys for the police department, more equipment, better police cruisers, and more, I guess, communication equipment. This year also marks the final year of transitioning funding for the department's mental health co-responder program to the general fund budget. It was previously funded by foundations. Beyond the police budget, speakers also asked City Council to consider funding for a permanent bike lane on Harney Street. But again, I'm sure most of y'all have comments about the police budget increase. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Or on any of the issues discussed at the hearing?
Yeah, the stories that have been floating around here have all been about the opposition to the police budget. I find it funny that a lot of the like Omaha World Herald, a lot of other outlets are really focusing in on that. And at first, I was like, "Oh, good, they're focusing in on that." And then later on, I started to think, why are they, like they're making that they're trying to, it's like they're trying to start some mess a little bit. Like here's all the people that don't want the police to have, so they want to call folks out on the ones that don't want to fund the police type of feeling. So I was really just hoping that we had people in the chat that paid attention to that meeting there, that had some other thoughts to say, other things to say. I'm glad that you read off a few other items there, like the permanent bike lane. I know we got bike riders in the chat chimers that will probably be happy about that. I know that we have talked before about whether or not Gene Stothert was going to be able to continue to do work from work remotely or leave town, or whether there's money in the budget for that type of thing too. And I read a lot of opinions about people that think that should happen. I know that we talk about that and we say something different, but a lot of other people think that she ought to go ahead and be able to use that money to be able to work remotely. So there's other items there that are worth talking about. I was just really kind of hoping that there were people there. Well, here's Wanda Lewis saying the mental health budget for the police must have been repurposed because we haven't heard anything else about it. Yeah, that's kind of a good thought too. I know that we talked about that before, about them having this one mental health officer that they had for the pretty much the whole city.
Yeah, well, per precinct.
Oh, is it per precinct? So
Yeah,
we
it's still
haven't
not
really
enough.
heard any stories about whether or not that person got deployed anywhere, if that situation helped anything, or we haven't heard much about it. Could be something going on, we just haven't heard. But we put it out there all the time. If something has, let us know. We definitely want to know about that. So yeah, I was just kind of wondering if anybody in the chat definitely paid attention to that, and got any more insight on those things, because really all we dug and found was the opposition to the police budget deal. that
Right.
everybody was up in arms about.
Well, one, to speak to Sister Wanda Lewis's comment, this year it is interesting. We should pay closer attention to that because, as I just mentioned in the article, it states that this year is the final year of the transition of the fund. So, that means that it's going the pot of money that's used to pay for that mental health correspondence program. Well, it came from foundations, but this is the year that it's going to transition to being paid for through the police general fund. And I'm kind of curious to see how that would affect. Is it going to be supported? Are they going to find a way to, have to cut it out? Like, oh, we can't afford it. We don't have to do it anymore.
Another helicopter. We can't do it.
Right. So I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out or how that's affected. But also what's interesting is what's not in the budget, which I think that's what more people are responding to more so than what is in the budget or what has been proposed. What's not being proposed. Some people are saying climate change is one of the things that's not in there. That's a big issue.
Brianna wasn't mentioned once.
Yep. Actually, Isabella Manhart, who's a student at UNO, spoke on that issue as well, saying the word climate appears 0 times in the budget right now. The climate action plan isn't there, and that's something that's glaringly missing for me in this budget. And we started off the show talking about flooding, which you got to know the climate changes is going to impact that as well. So if you don't have any plan to stop the rain from coming down, and then you have no plan to do anything about the flooding once the rain comes down, then you definitely are causing questions. And then also, speaking of the flooding, again, the new library is in a heightened flood disaster area, and now people are asking about what about the services for the library, which also isn't in there. So
Kimber Snipes in the chat just said something about the library. It says the library has been asking for money for years. Now that they have pissed off a lot of people, they want to slide the library some money, and it's offensive. Interesting. Okay. But like I said, it's kind of concerning that the money that they're getting is to build a new library in an area that is prone to flooding. They keep a lot of records there. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Omaha Star archives are kept at the main library. So I sure hate to say, oh well, we put them in the basement, and then all of a sudden now they're underwater.
And now all of North Omaha's history is just gone. So yeah, definitely something to look at too. And but also switching gears slightly because we are running short on time. I did want to dive into this next article talking about Omaha public schools because again, Mayor Stothert isn't the only one looking to drop a bag off on the Omaha Police Department. OPS has recently announced that they also will be paying $1.6 million for school resource officers to OPD. And again, mind you, we're now 2 years removed from the loud calls to defund the police, and now we're seeing again more resource officers or another bag, a reinvestment in resource officers in Omaha public schools, and of course the proposal from Mayor Stothert. But again, $1.6 million from Omaha public schools for the next school year, and in light of the Uvalde, Texas situation, of course, safety on school campuses has a renewed emphasis. Actually, OPD Sergeant Eric Prick, who's the supervisor of school resource officers for OPD, says school safety obviously is a paramount issue right now. But I would like to bring it to the chat because we brought up this issue a couple days ago, and the idea of maybe paying for some private security officers or some of the security forces, the minority-owned security forces. Will we rather see those people patrolling or helping protect, schools, especially in North Omaha? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on resource officers in general?
Yeah, good question. Put that out to the chat for sure. I haven't been in school for a long time, so I don't know what I would feel about that, knowing that we have to do active shooter drills and we're scared about getting the school shot up, and then have to turn. And then at the same time, we're afraid of the fact that we got policing the school as well. That's a tough spot to be in. Kimber Snipes says, "Did I not just tell y'all OPS is a city, even a police budget?" OPS is an army, better yet a Navy.
Nah.
I wonder if that's coming from the ARPA funds given to the schools. That's a good question.
Good question.
Yeah. Morning, Zane. How you doing, buddy? Good morning to you. Hope you have a good day in your first grade. That's what's happening. So yeah, definitely. Good questions on that. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys feel about police in school? Budget for the police in school, or some of the ARPA funds? Do you think some of the ARPA funds are going to that? You think some of that budget is trickling down there, or is it just going to be OPS's own budget?
Yeah, it doesn't say where that comes from in the article, but it just says the OPS school board approved the contracts over the summer. So
there you go. Probably their own. I mean, their own OPS budget, as far as Kimmer's talking about. They have it in their budget to fund the police there. Precious says, I met some awesome resource officers, and then there are some officers who would be better used in the evidence room rather than our schools.
Yep.
So again, some good cops, some bad cops. But the question is, should there be cops in school at all? And I couldn't answer that. I go back and forth about it. I want to say no. I want to say no in general, but then at the same time, what if the other option is arm the teachers and teach the kids how to,
which is a real bill that has really been proposed. So yeah, that's again, I'm kind of back and forth with it myself, having been most recently in school. I missed the whole school shooter drill wave, so I couldn't imagine what that would be like, and I'm sure that kind of changes the conversation. But I will say, I think of the likes of Officer Bynum, who was a resource officer at North when I was there. Also Officer, I'm drawing a blank on her. Thomas. Shout out to Sherry Thomas, who just actually received a promotion. She was a resource officer at North when I was there. So having those interactions, and that when I see those officers as an adult and spaces that our interactions are different. So there is that element to it. But there's also, the preschool to prison pipeline, which resource officers play a role. You have stories of, resource officers violating pepper spray and all kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a conversation worth having.
I was going to ask you about that because I missed that whole resource officers in school time frame. There was security.
So
guards. There were security guards in my high school. So they were like rent-a-cop type. They didn't do much. They broke up fights. So no, there wasn't any armed police in my school coming up. That I missed that whole era. So what was that like, knowing that there were armed actual police in school? What was that? How did that feel? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it felt like it was police at the school. I mean, I can't really.
I mean, did you guys?
It wasn't in the sense that I'll say this. I graduated right when like the whole Mike Brown's, like the whole that tense situation. When I was in school, and the real, like, there were stories of police shooters and things like that. But the big thing that came to your mind was Rodney King. That was years and years before I was in school. So my view of the police was a little different, I would say. Like, since 2011, really over the last decade, that conversation has really, really changed. With Mike Brown and just everything that has been happening, Trayvon Martin, like all of those things have changed the conversation. So I say that to say, even now, I'm sure the viewpoint of police being in schools is different than it was when I was in school.
Totally. Wanda Lewis in the chat says they should insert more mental health professionals in schools as opposed to additional resource officers. Agreed. I like that idea. Von Chapman says, can they hire parents from the community to be resource officers at OPS? If parents are more involved and hired in, that would be great. Also,
I've seen a volunteer model of that used in Florida.
Is that right? A volunteer security kind of situation?
Well, it was a bunch of fights. It was like a whole brawl that took place at the school, and then the following week, a group of fathers showed up and that kind of curtailed.
Yeah. I think Kimmer's over here saying it would be nice if the district were willing to have conversations about that with the public. If nothing else, they would have a lot of input into how people feel and think. That's what we're doing here because they're not really reaching out to the public on that. Marianne Williams says, I'm against police in school. Behaviors that warranted detention are now a police matter. Not to mention, we've now had 2 incidents where police failed to save the kids from shooters.
That's a good point.
Very good point. Precious says more social workers, mental health therapists, and limited resource officers. She says they have them both in school, security and police. Interesting. Okay, so there's security guards and still police in school. Brooke says I was in high school in the Columbine time period, so I had armed police and metal detectors in my high school in New York. Man, you was like you was in there with Joe Clark and then Welcome to the Jungle, baby. Carolyn Jack says that we had a mom as our resource person. Shout out to Mrs. Frampton for keeping us all in line at Benson High School. There you go.
Man.
Pop says if I were still in school, I would feel good about having some added protection with all the craziness going on, especially now. Of course, there were dinosaurs around when I went to school. So what do I know? You must have had security guards at your school too, Pops, back in the day. I'm sure. San G always been a hotbed. So you never. I don't know if you had them that far back. I'm pretty sure they've always had security guards in school, right? They've always had some kind of security. I don't know. Maybe that's the new thing for my generation. Precious says, look, when I was in high school, we couldn't wear hoodies because guns were being hidden per the principal. I remember that. I remember you couldn't come in with a hoodie or a big jacket or whatever. Von Chapman says, I remember the Mad Dads as resource officers in Omaha. Ooh.
Yeah, that's actually what I was talking about in Florida. That's what it was called, Mad Dads.
Yeah, so they had that in Omaha too, apparently. Interesting. Rose Review says for every $1 spent on resource officers, there should be $1 spent on mental health, for sure.
Agreed.
Precious McKesson said the cheerleaders and dance team had to protest police. They wouldn't let us wear warm-up with hoods on them. Man. So they were trying to be that you know, like you can't even wear hoodies during warm-up if you're a cheerleader because of that whole you might have a gun in your hoodie thing.
Man. Man, how rough a school is it where the cheerleaders are strapped? Dang.
Crazy, man. Precious McKesson said Mad Dads started in Omaha and they moved it to Florida. Wow.
Okay. I did not know that.
Started in Omaha. Crazy.
Yep. Mayor Sanchez saying the same thing. Yep.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The chat has spoken. Brooke says, well, I do feel safe because you had to go through all these safety measures before you could even enter the school. So I knew nothing was going down. Yeah, but that was also before, all this stuff comes out about police shootings. Like the police shootings is a relatively from Trayvon Martin on. Then people are starting to get to the point where they're more scared of cops than getting shot by anybody else. So I can't imagine being in school during that time and having cops at school. Preston McKesson says Mr. Eddie Station and John Foster and many more. So Mad Dads, man, started in Omaha. That's interesting. Somebody need to do a story on that. Somebody needs to do it.
No, that's interesting. And again, I bring back the question, should OPPD or should OPD get that full 1.6 million? Like they're already getting more money. Should we support, organizations and efforts like Mad Dads, more grassroots community-based organizations that have a little more stake in the game, if you will, that actually have children in these halls that they need to protect.
Get them some loot. Let them come and do the job. I like it. Loot. Give me the loot. Appreciate everybody in the chat that gave us some good ideas. This is what I'm talking about. I love the diversity of ideas here and viewpoints. Just to let us know what's going on. Pop says we just had 2 non-armed security officers like Barney Fife back in his day. That's all I had too, Pops. I graduated.
Whistling a flashlight.
Yeah, man. Rolling around on the cart. That's all. They didn't do nothing but break up fights, bro. That's it.
Nah. Yeah, we had pepper spraying police at my school.
Yeah. See, nah. I will tell you though, 90 we had there was like a big riot between like skinheads and Crips. So after I heard the year after I left is when the pepper spray and stuff started coming in. So the 90s. The nasty 90s was rough. 8:49 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy to God. Let's do a lightning round before we get to the haps. What you got?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Actually, speaking of defunding the police, we'll kick off our lightning round with the Mar-a-Lago situation, the Mar-a-Lago mess, if you will.
You so right wing now. You done went left.
Man, they came right back around. again, if you're not familiar with what we're referring to the changing of tone from the right wing, the Grand Old Party, who was a couple of years ago all against the defunding of the police talk. But now they're starting up their own after Mar-a-Lago was raided. Again, the home base, the hideout, the lair of former President Donald Trump, which again was recently raided by the FBI, and now the Grand Old Party is calling for the FBI to be defunded. Again, even our own Pistol Pete, Governor Ricketts, was actually recorded by Undercurrents Lauren Windsor, which I think Precious was sort of alluding to earlier in the show, was recorded discussing this whole idea of defunding the FBI, saying, what about defunding the FBI though? And to which Ricketts said, we could do that. Well, if we get control of Congress, we can control the House. So so again, I don't even know what to make of this. I don't even know what to
language. Defund the FBI. They even using
he goes on to say, I think we will get control of the House, the Senate. That's why it's important we get Adam elected. The Senate is really close, said Ricketts. So not only is this an idea that they're pushing, but there's apparently a playbook behind this, again, to get control of the House. So all jokes aside, definitely something to look out for, because if they get rid of the FBI, it's open season. It's open season.
It's just obvious that not that we trying to jump into the discussion about this. We're trying to just go through the lightning round, but I'm just thinking about the stuff that I heard about this, that they now they're trying to defund the FBI, and it's because it's apparent what they think of law enforcement. They don't think of law enforcement as this equal thing that is supposed to police all of us by a law. They think of it as like their personal security force, and if it goes against them on something, then all of a sudden they want to take their power away so they can do what they want. So very interesting.
Real quick, remember how Trump was kind of speaking to the police and the police chiefs? If you remember that whole phone conference about the police chiefs, that Trump called them out like, y'all some cowards if y'all don't stop these protesters.
Right.
Your sentiment is exact. And actually, we kind of see that in the next story, continuing with the lightning round, watching out for these House races across the country. Incumbent Wyoming Republican House Representative Liz Cheney was recently defeated after she broke from her party to criticize Trump. So not only are the police being used as flunkies in Trump's personal protection, if you will, but also he's using some candidates out there in other seats to also bolster his power. So again, Wyoming recently elected Harriet, I believe Hageman is her name. She's an attorney who supported Cheney in a race towards the House in 2016, but now has defeated Cheney again to sort of avenge the Trumpsters, if you will.
She was the person that was saying that it was a false election too. So she was an election denier.
Yep.
Backed by Trump. And of course, Liz Cheney, we talked about her many times before on this show. She's a Republican, but she was always speaking out against Trump in a big way, very vocal way. And now they didn't keep one of their own.
Man, it cost her her seat. So we'll definitely continue to keep our eyes up. The Trump effect is real, y'all. The Trump effect is real. And as you see, there's a plan in effect. So chess, not checkers. Also moving along, speaking of the feds, there has been 4 federal charges for police officers in the fatal Breonna Taylor raid. So we'll definitely continue our eyes to see if those charges turn into convictions. Again, the charges are another effort to hold law enforcement accountable for the killing of the 26-year-old medical worker after one of the officers was acquitted of state charges earlier this year. We will see if the federal charges will stick. And then also finally, to wrap up our lightning round, Biden has recently signed sweeping climate, healthcare, and tax bills into law, as some of the chat chimers have already dropped some of the details in the chat. So we definitely appreciate all of you for that. Again, some of the characteristics of the health care bill include capping on certain prescriptions, and including insulin and things like that. Also capping prescriptions for the elderly. I believe one of the chat chimers said at $2,000, which is still quite a bit. I mean, a $2,000 monthly medication bill on some people who's getting like $500, in retirement funds. It's quite a whole nother whole nother conversation. But and then finally, speaking of that, California becomes the first state to break down Black employee data by lineage. Again, California continuing sort of their tract or their attempt to put together some sort of reparation situation. And I believe this is the latest element of that. Again, breaking down the employee data by lineage, trying to again trace descendants of African slaves. So yeah, definitely continuing to keep an eye on what's going on.
Gotta keep that might be something that we need to discuss on another occasion, because I'm not sure if them collecting data on Black folks is the thing to do. That don't sound. I don't know about that.
You're a little skeptical about it.
A little skeptical about that. So, anything that is in our lightning round that you think we need to be discussing on further on future shows, let us know. I definitely am calling that one out to check out a little bit closer.
Yeah, man.
Real quick, jumping in the chat. Pop says the woman who won in Wyoming is a Trump psychopath. She was against Trump earlier. Flip flopper going back and forth on top of it. Von Chapman says, I think Liz, we're talking about Liz Cheney, should switch political parties and invite other Republicans to join her. Yeah,
I mean, we've seen a mass exodus of Democrats going to the Republicans. So hey, why not the other way around?
Yeah, we'll see. 8:56 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, thanks for joining us. Marianne Williams' last comment says, Liz Cheney may be anti-Trump, but she's also anti-working, voting rights, healthcare, and more. She voted against minimum wage increase, Equality Act, and the ERA. So even though she got beat by another Republican who's a Trumpster, it doesn't sound like it was too big of a switch or a loss. There's definitely something going on in the Republican Party that we talk about all the time. There might even be a split happening right now. I don't know if Liz would come over to the Democratic side, but I think that she would probably definitely is part of this whole other split from Trump, and that's happening in the Republican Party. There's a definite line between Republicans that are for Trump and against him. So, but again, when it comes to some of the other major issues here, like Marianne Williams was saying, still not where we need to be. So. Let's jump into the Haps. 8:57 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. It is time for the Haps. What's happening? What's going down? You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Time for the Haps. Time for us to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world and around town here in Omaha, and then time for you to let us know about some things that you think we need to be checking out as well. I'm going to jump right in with some Haps real quick, if you don't mind.
Let them know.
Got to know that tomorrow is going down. American Son over at the Benson Theater is happening, directed by Kathy Tyree. Starts tomorrow, Thursday. So hit bensontheater.org for tickets. Unless you're in this group, hit me for tickets, and I got some free tickets for you. Again, get with Carolyn Jack. She is the person that's organizing the First Sky Omaha group to get together. Everybody who wants to come see this play, we're trying to organize one of the dates here. 18th through the 21st or 25th through the 27th. Those are the dates that this play is happening, but we definitely want to go and support Kathy Tyree, support the Benson Theater. So definitely check it out. Get with Carol and Jack, or just get with me and whatever day you're trying to go. Let me know. I'll get you tickets if you're a friend of First Sky Omaha. Appreciate that very much. Definitely go check out American Son, Christopher Demos Brown, directed by Kathy Tyree at the Benson Theater, and that's starting tomorrow, Thursday. It's going down. Also, got to let you know, just because it's a First Sky event, First Sky Omaha and the House of Afro Capes and Curls got together to do the Wiz Costume Jam. That's August the 28th, and I'm talking about it to you early because you got to have time to get your costumes together. So it's a costume jam. Everybody's going to dress up like the characters from the Wiz, and then do the Rocky Horror Picture Show thing, is sing the songs, dance the dances. And, repeat all the lines of the movie, be loud, boisterous, have a good time, dance in the aisles. It's going down the Wiz Costume Jam Sunday, August 28th at 6 p.m. There's some people that are talking about they want to go. So I got some free tickets for that, too, if you want to get busy, especially if you're going to dress up. And remember, you don't have to be the Tin Man or the Lion. I mean, there was a lot of characters in that movie. I'm thinking about there's a lot of people that are getting their 70s disco clothes on for that end credit, the end part of the movie where they talk about you got to be seen in green and in gold and all that. So people are just dressing up. But yeah, we would love for you to dress up in costume and let us know if you do that, and we'll definitely hit you with some free tickets on that. Again, Sunday, August 28th. That's put on by us, First Sky Omaha, and the House of Afro Capes and Curls. The Wiz Costume Jam's going down.
Man,
But
sounds like a jolly good time.
Man, dude, man, I'm hoping I'm gonna be 100% for that. I'm gonna look for my costume anyway, and just in case I'm over COVID and I can make it, then I'm going, and it's going down. I should be fine by then. So
Yeah.
planning on doing that.
Hopefully. But also going down there, actually, it looks like there's gonna be a couple things going down this weekend. They are still continuing music at Miller Park. Big shout out to our partners over at Omaha Performing Arts. This is still in partnership with Nelson Mandela Elementary School, Minnelusa, and Miller Park Neighborhood Associations. So big shout out to all the community partners coming together to bring this. This is a free event for the community. So come out. Outdoor concert series takes place at Miller Park Pavilion. That's 2707 Reddick Avenue. Again, 2707 Reddick Avenue. All concerts are free. No tickets required. They do ask that you bring out blankets, chairs, sunscreen, bug spray. Bring out your own food, drinks, including beer and wine. So if you are of age and want to bring out your adult beverages, feel free to do so. You can even bring out the beast of the field as long as they're on a leash. So again, come out, enjoy good music, good art in the heart of Miller Park. So big shout out again to our partners over at Omaha Performing Arts for this one.
Yep.
Also, big shout out to Island Chill. If you're looking for something to do over on the Deuce, they're having Friday Family Night on the Deuce, hosted by Island Chill. That's going down this Friday from 7 to 12 a.m. Again, this is for the family. Friday night, movie night on the Deuce at St. Benedict the Moore Catholic Church, right by Bryant Basketball Court and Youth Center. So again, big shout out to everybody getting busy at the Bryant Center, man. I'm loving seeing the community activity. So if you'd like to join the festivities, again, it is going down this Friday. St. Benedict the Moore, North Omaha Community Partnership, and Island Chill 402 bring you Friday Family Night on the Deuce. So definitely looking for that. And then, of course, this weekend, still have our farmers markets open. So if you're looking for fresh produce, especially in light of the conversations that we've been having, if you're in the North Omaha food desert area, I'm sure you can use some fresh produce. So definitely make sure you make your way down to the old market. That's this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Again, that's from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Get you some fresh fruit, get you some fresh veggies, support our local growers in the meantime. And without further ado, that's all we got.
There you go. Let's get on up out of here. We're already 2 minutes late. Pop said, greatest morning show on air. Thanks, guys. We love you.
Man.
And mad love to the First Sky fam. Oh, and don't forget Miss Erica Felt. That's right. Thank you for that, Pop.
Yes. Thank you.
Doing the meal train for Miss Erica Felt as well. You can go to First Sky Omaha, the Friends of First Sky Omaha page, and find those links as well. She's one of our friends of First Sky Omaha. Has got to go through some major surgery, has to close her business down for a while in order to do that. So we're trying to help her and her son by going to the meal train situation there. I need to try to find that so I can put it in the chat right now. But definitely go to the meal train site and donate some funds for her to be able to kind of pay the bills through there. And also there's a calendar on there where you can get on there and say when you're going to bring her some food or have some food delivered to her as well during that period of time when she'll be down and recovering from the surgery. So definitely do that. And we'll, like I said, you can go to Friends of First Sky Omaha. We'll repost that in Friends of First Sky Omaha so that you can easily do that. And thank you for everybody that has already. And there's a lot of people that's been picking it up. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. We put that out there, and then she has something on the page that talks about what she doesn't want, what she doesn't like, and has allergies to, and so on. So, buddy got it for us here. I appreciate that. Let's put that in there. Go to the meal train, and all that information will be right there, Brother Sanchez, on whether or not they have allergies to things. So thanks once again, and everybody who is a friend of First Sky reaching out and helping out one of our own. We really appreciate that. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you for joining us. Buddy, got some words for the people?
Yeah, man, as always, it's a pleasure politicking with P. Thank you, Miss McKesson, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come and, just laugh with us and joke with us and bring us some very, very valuable information and perspective. So as always, we appreciate and enjoy politicking with P. And of course, a big shout out to all the chat chimers for letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. We definitely appreciate you. That's why we call you our co-host around here. The show would not be the same without you, especially those of you who drop, links and stories and have conversations on the Friends of First Sky Omaha page, and tell a friend about us, man. We appreciate you, and hopefully we'll continue to receive your support. If you'd like to donate, check us out at firstsky.omaha.com/donate if you'd like to support us financially. But otherwise, just continue to check us out, continue to join the conversation, and until next time, Paul B, take it away.
Brooke says, great show. Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate it. I want to give thanks to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land. I want to give thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Thanks to you, the chat chimers, who we could not have this show without. The conversations that go on are incredible. We really appreciate you. Thanks to everybody that is a reoccurring member of the channel as well. We have $10, $25, $50 people, and we really, really appreciate your support. Can't do it without you. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button if you don't mind. Really appreciate that. Josh Tate says, so many great conversations on this episode. Each one could get its own episode deep. Yeah, man, that's when we're starting to really feel that way. I feel that all the way. So I'm glad this is a continuation. We wanted to try to cut back and do a once a week show, but there's just too much to talk about. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are here. Friday, we will have Kimra Snipes on to talk about that meeting that she attended and further the follow the money theme. So that's what's up. Really appreciate her for all the work that she's doing. Marianne Williams says, thank you for all you do, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And everything you contribute as well. Appreciate you. So you guys have a good one. Take care of yourselves. We're going to get out of here, and we'll see you Friday and with special guest Kimra Snipes. So until then, peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the Red